Hello everyone, this is Likos, and this is Nerd Talk. With me today is Castil, Shadow, and Foil. And we are on the topic of nerfs and buffs. And Castil, you can go ahead and start if you want.
Well, since this is a redo,
Let's just go.
Technical difficulties on previous recording date.
it was,
Yeah.
problem exists when one does not record the audio.
so I remember what I mentioned being the Vex Mythic class. That fucking mad. Since I did start off with Destiny.
Right.
We never got anywhere else.
Yeah, we were
Yeah,
just
true.
talking
we got on
constantly
Des.
about Destiny and just...
Yeah. The recording software was off. Just
Well, the recording
one of
software
those
is on
days.
this time, and it's been recording for 4 minutes, and I already checked. It is picking up all three of y'all and me.
You'll forgive us if we don't trust you anymore.
I'm sorry. I'm not very good with technology sometimes. Castillo, can you go ahead?
There's
Actually-
times that you're good at it.
Bad considering
I actually
what
played-
you're doing.
Uh,
I actually played against people who had the Mythic class before it got nerfed into fucking uselessness. Just,
Oh, so did I.
you never really
Yeah.
you never really won gunfights unless they just didn't get the chance to shoot at you. If they got to shoot at you, you either died or traded death with them.
Or had a year one shotgun.
or sniper.
Yeah.
If you were in that range, you were just dead. You just got
Or
melted.
year one thorn.
To be fair,
Vex
you
Mythic
could
class
only
was
survive
worse
with
than year one thorn.
if you could get around at the corner. If you couldn't get around a corner, you still died with the thorn.
True enough.
That
Because,
was not the bow I meant.
the Mythic class wasn't OP at all.
Yep.
Not
Fun.
at least.
But instead of just making it weaker, they made it kind of useless.
Pretty much.
Because Bungie.
Yeah.
Then
they're
again, they,
balancing is shit for PvP, dude.
Even though they kind of...
Bungie's only real recourse for balancing weapons in Destiny seems to be, unless they take a really long time to do anything, it is just to make it useless. Like, you can observe that trait in all the really broken weapons from Destiny's first year. Thorn, the Vex Mythoclast, Galahorn, Last Word.
Well, no,
whoa,
I'm
whoa.
not going to lie. I'm kind of
Stop being mean to the
surprised
hand
they brought Galley back.
Some of us liked the hand cannons. Castile.
I like hand cannons now,
A lot.
even though they're kind of nerfed from what you've
Hand
experienced. Shadow.
cannons are nowhere near what they used to be.
Yeah, I know.
The
Shadow
hand
always
cannons
brings it up
now
when
are
we play.
sad.
Shadow always brings up how all the hand cannons were nerfed to hell.
Because it's hard to use one anymore without going, remember when this was good?
Dad, remember when you used to see people run Last Word all the time?
Yeah, you could
Yeah.
conceivably Last Word and Shotgun and win games.
Nowadays, it's
I
whenever
used to
someone
Last
brings
Word in
Word,
PvE.
Because the Last Word
whenever I
had the
play
glitch
Last
where
Word,
you
Shadow
could
gets on
100
me
damage
more.
hip fire headshot people. No, it wasn't hip fire, it was 100 damage aimed headshot.
Yeah, you had to aim.
Like, you
Why
tap the
was
trigger, it
Falmore
was
attacking
something
me for
to
no
do
reason?
with the ADS mechanic that the perk had.
God, though. Like, And the reason we go straight to Destiny, Destiny's fucking defined by nerfs.
Nerfs or deliberately making things outright useless?
Pretty much.
Gjallarhorn and Thorn. Gjallarhorn,
argued,
Thorn, and the Mythic
just-
class were there's little argument. They were deliberately made
No, I was going to
useless.
say it could be argued that they do that because considering what they've been doing with Destiny 2 and how shit they've been at that.
Well,
Apparently,
you
there's
say
a really
that, but they
broken
do that-
weapon in Destiny too, as well.
Well, you say this, but they also did it to weapons that didn't really even need a nerf, like
Yep, Universal Remote got made useless.
Like, it was nowhere near the best shotgun you could get in the game. It's fucking useless now.
Like, it's like their method is if any developer gets killed by this, they shit on it. It's like their revenge.
Apparently,
Or,
that's why they shit on Blade Dancer so much.
Or at one point, wasn't it? Didn't you make the point that they just nerf anything anyone uses a whole lot?
They apparently
Yeah,
nerf based on use rate, which is baffling
Except the
because
multi-tool.
all developers who say they nerf based on use rate are usually lying. The multi-tool would have been nerfed, but the multi-tools thing was just a really good gun. It wasn't like the Vex Mythoclast or Thorn, where it's, oh, I'm dead. What can I do about it? Like, you
But the,
could at
mul-
least
the multi-tool is
conceivably...
the example of use rate.
The multi-tool is the example of use rate, but you could conceivably win fights with someone using a multi-tool if you were good enough. Not like the Vex Mythoclast where or the Thorn where it comes down to don't get shot or you're fucked.
I'm not gonna say the multi-tool's like the most OP gun, but
You know,
it's
you say that.
so sickening hearing it every match.
Yeah,
You
might have
say
missed us
that,
all.
but look how prevalent, like, some of the Trials guns were because they were OP as fuck.
True. Doctrine of Passing, the Messenger. Then again, the PvP guns, you know, they're gonna stand out in people. Really. Oh yeah, there was a point I was gonna make about Gjallarhorn. Gjallarhorn is ultimately the worst example of it all. Gjallarhorn and Blackhammer, because everyone just went, bring Gjallarhorn or we're not letting you into our raid.
I'm gonna call the galley nerf actually justified for that reason.
The
now.
Gjallarhorn nerf was justified for... It wasn't even a nerf. It just got left behind for a full year. Turned as a shadow of its former self. It should have, like...
And then they wind up making it a thing you can unlock instead
You
of
know, I'm not
a
even
random
going to say
chance draw.
that. I'm not even
Yes.
going to say that is a balancing issue. I think that's a community thing.
It's
Just
a
because-
community thing, but the issue sprung from the Gjallarhorn being as strong as it was.
I get that, but just because the galley's not there, there's still people like that with other weapons. Like,
But there were still people like that with other weapons,
well, there's
but it
still people
became
like that.
by far less prevalent.
And there's
no,
people like
it's
that in
not.
most
I
any
saw.
game.
You know how many? You know how many
I-
posts I've seen people saying they won't take you on a raid if you don't have sleeper.
I never saw nearly as many of those as I did bring Gjallarhorn or we're not bringing you along. Or Blackhammer, as it goes.
Blackhammer was just baffling.
Blackhammer.
to me.
Hold on.
Blackhammer
Okay.
was
What's the
broken.
Black Hammer?
Okay,
You get free headshots.
there's two
you'll
different
click
versions of
refills.
Blackhammer. Yeah. The year one
was their-
Blackhammer, if you score 3 headshots, the clip refills itself. Not out of your reserves. Free bullets. It has
Yeah, shot
infinite ammo
finish.
as long as you don't miss.
Alright.
And it was a high
And it's a
impact
high
sniper
impact
rifle.
sniper.
And it did more damage to Hive. So everyone used it in Crota's End because without doubt one of the best weapons in the game. For
So,
that
like,
raid.
Yeah, so like Galley, I can see it was stronger than they intended. The Black Hammer, what did you think would happen, you fools?
Yeah.
Well,
The exotic
learning
Black
how
Hammer is a
RNG
badly
works nowadays,
nerfed
they
version,
probably
and
weren't
it's...
thinking.
They probably weren't. The exotic Black Hammer was nerfed fairly badly, and it's still one of the stronger snipers in the game. It's for raw damage.
Okay,
Definitely.
I'm picking up static off of someone.
Maybe me.
Yeah, it's you, Foil.
That's why those
I
weapons
think I
got
fixed it.
left behind, justifiably so. Does anyone want to chip in their own topics?
I've been.
Regarding buffs, and I more mean like what comes to mind for you, opposed to my examples.
Honestly, my biggest example is a little bit more niche, if anyone, because this is an Xbox and you guys probably haven't played it. But if any one of you played Ratchet and Clank,
I've watched my brother play it.
I've played
as a
around
kid.
with it. I don't think I've ever completed a game.
well, every Ratchet and Clank game checks your data to see if you played the last one. And if you did, they're like, hey, have some free guns from the last game. And the weapons you get have been shit on so hard, usually.
Seriously?
Yeah, you get your gun back, but it's a shadow of its former self. Like, the best example I can think of is, like, the Rhino. But that one was because it could eat the final boss in 10 seconds, so it probably needed to get nerfed.
Yeah, kinda.
So the new version didn't actually attack anything, it just shot into the air, the screen went white, and everyone turns to dust. That's not a boss. But it doesn't damage bosses. Which is basically what the Zodiac did, but no one remembers that, and the Zodiac did cost $10,000 a shot. So in fairness, people didn't Zodiac. Anyway, to go down more examples of this sort of nerfing, the saddest one of all time was the Bouncer. Because the Bouncer in Going Commando, you could fire a shot, and this is assuming you have a maxed out champion mode done to the max Bouncer. You could go into the arena, shoot the Bouncer. It would fire one bouncy projectile, which explodes into dozens of smaller bombs, each of which explode into dozens of smaller bombs.
So it's
You could legitimately wipe the entire arena with one or two shots from the Bouncer. It was the best, most satisfying gun, because you would fire, it would be boing, boing, bing, 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 bing.
So in
And now
other words,
everything
it's
is gone.
basically a overpowered Merv.
It is what
Yeah.
Mervs want to be when they grow up.
I must have
And
this
then
toy.
you get the... Well, then you get
Oh,
it in Up Your
no.
Arsenal, which is Ratchet and Clank 3. And then you're like, yes!
Damn
And then
it.
you shoot it and it becomes like 6 Mervs, and you're like, oh, yeah, that's right, I have to level it up. So you level up, and you're like, wow, now it's 12, that's it. What have you done? What have you done to my baby? And there's
what
so
was
many
the max
guns from
amount
the
it could
series
go
like that.
to?
I think the original one went to like 180.
Oh my fuck! Really?
Yes.
And
So,
how much damage
Up
does
Your
each one of
Arsenal
them
was-
do?
Enough to kill things on a lower earlier game. Late game 2 or 3 of those little ones will kill something, and you're making that many.
Oh my fucking god!
I mean,
So here's what happened.
would it?
Because the game was hard enough to justify these kinds of mega guns. But then Up Your Arsenal came out, and Insomniac's like, this is, by the way, when GameSpy is new. Like, online's is just becoming a thing. So they balanced a lot of the gameplay and weapons around that idea. So things like that, the mini turret glove, and the Killanoids, like, one of the big fucking draws for the early Ratchet and Clank games was if you get a shield charger and you painstakingly level it, you get the mini turrets and the Killanoids done. Congrats, you have automated combat. You want to go do collectibles and shit? There you go. You don't have to fight anymore. It's all of those things, because they had online as a thing, got nerfed into the ground so bad, like fucking Thorn nerfs.
Well, did they at least have anything good from the new game that would make up for the nerfs that they did to the guns from the old game? Or was it also equally as shit items?
Probably.
I mean, okay, I will say they fixed the lava gun, because the lava gun in 2 became, when it was maxed out, the meteor gun, which just made it a lot shittier, honestly. Sure, the meteors hit harder, but it's not a stream, which defeats the purpose. And they made it the liquid nitrogen gun. That's awesome, except the damage is so low, it's only really good in one place in the game that you're going to get stuck spending hours in a giant sewer grinding sewer crystals. Great for that, but it's the only place it really shines.
Yeah.
And for the most part, no. Like, a mini turret now runs out of ammo in like 12 shots.
Got any examples from other games to throw in, Foil?
I don't know. Like, I've got examples, but I'm not sure how relevant they would be because I would be talking about WoW, and they've completely redone their combat system since then.
Well, it'd still be a nerf or buff thing, so you could bring it up for the discussion. Though, I think you're the only one that's played World of Warcraft out of us, except maybe Castil. I don't know. Have you played a Castil?
Oh, I haven't. No.
Yeah, I'm the nerd. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I know people who have, but I haven't myself.
Honestly, like I said, I didn't have much to contribute to this one besides issues with game balancing. Like, it's really apparent some game devs don't understand how to balance shit, or don't take into account the community.
Or worse, only listen to the community.
Yeah, that. Oh my
Or
god.
only listen to the worst parts of the community.
Yeah, because
Lower
the parts
shit.
tend to be the loudest.
Just a little tidbit. Since we're going on about not knowing how the game will unfold, I may have mentioned this before, but in Rainbow Six Siege, Blitz's ability was originally that attackers would spawn in the prep phase of the round.
Really?
Yep,
That seems
Yeah, which
broken as
sounds-
hell.
Yeah.
it was.
Wait, would only he spawn or everyone would spawn?
Everyone.
Oh my Jesus.
Yeah, that's broken.
In the context
I guess
given,
they
and
did
this
do
is from
that.
a lead developer of the game, it would be everyone. Whole attacking team just drops in the fucking preparation phase when you should be reinforcing.
Yeah,
There'd
good
be
thing
no
they did
counter
not go
for that.
through with that. That would have been broken as hell.
Well, like Clutch said, there would be no way to counter that at all.
Short of just being immediately ready. Actually, no.
Well,
Like, you'd have to just.
You'd have
Don't
to
get
find
me
somewhere in
started
the
on that.
building just to hunker down because you wouldn't be able to have time to put up
You
your
can't
defenses.
protect the objective if you hunker down somewhere else.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so it's there's no way to defend against it.
Just need to get ready for a gunfight. It's really simple.
And really, if you wanted to do that, just grab Halo or Call of Duty. Really.
You know,
you're
you
just
say
looking for a
that, but
gunfight.
I don't think one of those games has the tight gunplay like Siege does. Like, that's one of the things I really like about Siege is the gunplay's fucking tight.
Yeah, true. They. Wait, hold on. Which
Oh.
one were you? Which one were you implying? Because I know.
I
What?
actually just remembered something that
you
got
said
nerfed.
one of those games wouldn't have tight gameplay.
None
or
of them have
gameplay.
the tight gunplay.
Yeah,
Okay.
Siege does.
yeah, Call of Duty or Halo, neither one of them
Or
has that
Battlefield.
tight.
Okay, I thought I heard you say one of them doesn't have close to it or something like that.
Oh, I thought you were just about to try just
Since we
immediately
mentioned-
jump on like, no, Halo is good, don't question it.
Oh no, Halo has its problems, and some of them are very
Yeah,
obvious.
I'm like hardcore Halo fan, and I will say, yeah, no.
Everything has its. I just remembered an old school Nerfs. Exclusive round.
Oh.
You're cutting in
You're
and
cutting
out.
in and
Yeah,
out.
dude.
It's 12 explosive rounds.
Castillo, you're breaking up.
You said class 12 explosives.
Those
so I
were-
have no idea what that's from.
Neither do I.
Battlefield 3. You have a fully
It's in fact-
automatic magazine fed
Dang.
like 11 or 12 round shotgun firing AoE damage at a pretty high rate of fire into groups of people, massacring them all because it still does full shotgun damage.
And
Yeah,
this was
actually,
Battlefield
before they
3.
nerfed that up. Yeah, before they nerfed that, you could actually
It was
destroy
everywhere.
vehicles with that.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, that
you
needed
had
a nerf.
about the effect on people that you would expect.
Yeah, that thing
To
definitely...
be fair, frag rounds are still horrible in 3.
Yes, but they're not the fucking team wiping monsters that they used to be.
They're still pretty bad.
Yeah, but foil, like, back before the nerf entire squad.
I know they were worse, but they're still pretty bad.
Bro.
So, Flo, what exactly was it you were wanting to bring up about World of Warcraft?
Oh god, where do I start? They've nerfed and buffed and then re-nerfed shit so many times in that game. Honestly, this would probably fall more in my game balance issues, especially since they've redone the way the skill trees work. Like it used to be, some of your best builds were like you had so many points in one tree and points in another tree, and you never
You
maxed out
multi-classed.
any. Yeah. Well, now they force you into one. Like if you're a Death Knight per se, I used to put points into Frost and Unholy, and that was my build. Now I have to choose whether I spec into Frost or Unholy. And by themselves, they're nowhere near as good as what you could get out of a split class. That said, back in the day, you also had to pay to have a dual specialization. Like, you could switch between, like, your Unholy and Frost build to your Blood build if you wanted to tank or some shit. That said, nobody ever used Blood. Anyone who is serious about it.
Blizzard game. Overwatch comes to mind in the subject of nerfs and buffs because there have been so many to Mercy.
Well, considering how much, like, how many new characters they've added to Overwatch, it wouldn't be surprising that they would do
They
something
haven't
about
added
it
that
like
many.
Mercy's a healer, though.
Yeah, but she's been nerfed and buffed to ridiculous levels.
I know, I'm saying, like, she's a healer. She doesn't need the nerfs and buffs.
She's gotten them anyway.
Like, what sort of nerfs and buffs are we talking for those? Wait, for that character?
Mercy's ultimate ability used to be a resurrect, but this raised the problem that you would get people who sat in the back of the map doing nothing to help their team until their ultimate was charged, and then, like, level 1 bots, they flew in and hit Q, and the entire team would get back up.
Huh.
So you either killed Mercy first, or 11th.
Okay.
Not sure if that one's
They even-
Blizzard's fault if people play badly.
They eventually changed her ultimate, so you get buffs to your gun and the ability to fly around. Resurrect became a single target ability once every 30 seconds. You got a free one whenever you activated your ultimate, so you could res 2 people for its duration. That was enough, so they nerfed it again.
You see, this isn't, I don't think, so much a nerf because the ability is overpowered or anything. This is more like I was talking about the community. Like, the community is not going to play a game as devs intend. That's just a fact.
Very true. I've even
That's
seen
why
it
you
said
play
about-
test with
I've
random
even
people
seen
who aren't part of the developers.
said about Siege from like the lead developers. They have no idea what will happen when they put things in. Which is part of the reason they make mistakes like they do. If you
Like the existence of Ella.
Right.
LA used to be worse. Just remember that.
Oh, and here's
Still
one
pretty
thing that
bad?
they did do that kind of helped. I mean, they made guns work. Handguns work a lot better than they used to. Though there are still the questionable.
Yes, but that's because everyone
Nerfs,
used
like,
the
say-
Bearing 9 and a Mac 11 on smoke.
Right. But then there are other questionable nerfs, like, say, the new one that they're going to be doing, which is what they're going to do to Shadow's favorite character, Twitch.
Which is supposedly nerfed based on her ability to, like, destroy basically all electronic gadgets that an enemy team can have on
That's
the
her
map
job.
each round.
Right, and that's
With her
a good
drones,
thing
but-
for her to
You
do.
do realize this is the second nerf she's gotten, right?
They even, though they even
hold on,
mentioned
what was the first nerf?
that
She didn't used to throw one of her shark drones in the prep phase.
that
Oh,
phase-
right, she used to have
Yeah.
the shock,
Three
shock
drones.
drone and the original
No,
drone.
she had 4 drones before.
Yeah, she had 2 drones, 2 normal drones, and 2 shock drones.
No,
which
she had
was-
2 normal drones and 1 shock drone.
Ah,
No,
yeah,
I could
fucking
swore it was
absurd.
two shock drones.
Originally, it was 2 normal drones
No.
and 1 shock drone.
They gave her the 2 shock drones to make up for the fact she throws one of them in the prep phase.
Oh, alright.
So if it immediately gets killed and there's nothing you can do about it, you haven't wasted your
And
power.
then again, Blackbeard used to have 800 HP on his rifle shield.
Yeah,
Yeah,
now
that
it's
one
just-
was kind
As
of
a
like
note-
that one. I understand why it was
As a
nerfed.
note, Tachanka's shield on his machine gun has 600 health.
Wait, so that thing can actually break if you shoot it enough?
Easily.
Yes, yes, it
I
can.
thought that
I've
thing
done
was
it.
just completely invulnerable. Okay.
No,
Nah.
it's pretty fucking frail, honestly.
No, that would be stupid.
Right?
The reason why Blackbeard's was so dumb was in the time it takes. Attackers have much more opportunity to shoot at Tachanka's mounted machine gun than they do at someone who's moving around all the time. Sits at windows, just peeking from the bottom, and headshotting you. If you test his shield of invulnerability. That's why they nerfed it so much.
Right,
And
but
even with the nerfs, he apparently still has the highest win rate for attackers in like Platinum and Diamond.
yeah, because people as crazy as you can still go up to windows and just shoot people.
You mean
That's
play
the point.
Blackbeard the way it's meant to be played.
Yeah.
That's what you do with Blackbeard.
Still, I don't think I would use Blackbeard that much because I'd be too scared to go up to the window.
Then you're not
that's
using the character
a
as
you
intended.
issue.
Yeah,
Well,
that's
not
a
only
personal
that,
thing.
like,
I've seen people complain about Blackbeard because they still feel he's overpowered and shouldn't be in the game. Let me just put it that way.
okay,
Um,
I've had bullets one hit his shields before. Like, he's not
Hit
overpowered
registration
still.
is weird.
Yeah, that's
He's not overpowered, he's just very good at what he does.
See, I have the opposite problem. Like the last time I played Blackbeard, I had someone shoot directly in my shield and it just bypassed the shield and hit me.
Okay,
Were you
what?
leaning? Apparently, if you lean, it can hit you in the head.
I was leaning around a corner. All that was exposed was my head and the shield, yet she somehow didn't hit the shield or my head. And of course it was Ella, that's why I'm saying she.
Ow.
Surprised.
Yeah, but
Ella is an example of a broken character. Right fucking there.
I wouldn't even say it's the character itself, it's her gun.
Well, I say that because if you pick Ella, everyone knows what you're going for. It's the character. Like, overall,
I also kind of find
that
it
is what
funny
you're
that
going
they
for.
have a character like Ella after they did the whole Operation Health or whatever thing where they tried to fix
Why
problems
so?
in the game.
Operation Health was to fix bugs. They fixed 1,000 bugs.
Wait, that's what it was? I thought it was
And make the
fixing...
servers reliable.
I'm not kidding.
Okay, I thought it was
I
there
heard it
for
said that
in-
someone read the patch notes. There was apparently 1,200 bugs by the time they were all said and done.
Shit. Well, I
The
thought it was
game's
for
far from
balancing
perfect,
purposes.
Balancing purposes, and hey, our game is fucking broken. We need to fix it. It's still far from perfect, but
Yeah, but I mean, as it stands now, the game is fun, even though there are those bullshit times where you just run into a fucking clan squad or
see
That
for
that
you.
has nothing to do with
or just
the
wind up having to.
Yeah,
build of the game.
that has
Yeah.
Well,
has
that and
nothing to do
the
with it.
nerfs and buffs that they do to the game.
R.I.P. Twitch.
I'm still trying to wrap my head around that, especially after they went and gave Capcan extra traps and shit.
Ubisoft games in general have this balancing problem. Like, For Honor with the Centurion. People hated the Centurion.
Oh yeah, because they'll just kick you in
Because-
the wall and keep you there until you're fucked.
Yeah, the Centurion was basically, I'm going to punch you in the face, kick you into this wall, and I'm going to cutscene your health from 100 to 0. And you can do fuck all about it.
That is some fucking bullshit.
And then there, bear in mind, Centurion got nerfed. Then there's Shaman. Do you want to know what Shaman does?
What?
Shaman has all of the mix-ups for unpredictability. She heals whenever she gets bleed damage on you, which can be done really easily. She used to have a grab that could track you at like 90 degrees and hit you, and the grab is she rips a chunk of your neck out and heals about as much health as she damages you for, which is a full bar. Means a lot in that game. She had all the broken shit that people had complained about on past characters, basically. Kind of like Ella. Just this really big fucking, like, monument to the... I can't really say it another way. The idiocy of Ubisoft teams sometimes when it comes to balancing their games. Just absurd.
Yeah,
I don't know. Like, my whole issue with Ella is she has the 50-round laser beam of death.
Which is becoming the 40-round laser beam of death. That
But
doesn't do
that's what
anything,
pisses
by
me
the
off
way.
more, isn't just that, like, oh, we made a mistake and we'll nerf it. It's, you know what? We're keeping it because we want her to be broken. We feel like that's how this character belongs.
and we'll only shave off 10
But it's not
clip.
even her ability, it's just the Evo.
Her ability is also bad. Do you want to know why her ability is bad?
Hang on. The developers described the Evo as part of her uniqueness.
Yep.
So it really is her ability. It's her unique.
But
Yeah, but
when I say her ability,
Isn't
I
her
mean
ability the
mines.
little cluster charge of
Concussion mines.
Isn't that her
Little
ability?
sensitivity fucking minds of death, you mean?
Yeah, which makes it really hard to turn your camera.
Because it artificially cuts your sensitivity down.
You know, you say this, but at the same
can't
time,
raise
you
it
play
above a certain point.
yokai, and look how the
Here's
disruptability
the
on
thing.
yokai is.
Yokai just affects your screen. It makes you go drunk. You can still run, you can still aim, you can still
And-
move just fine.
And you can get killed
With
while
Ella,
it happens. I've done
Ella,
that before.
it goes, oh hey, you have 80 sensitivity, we're going to cut that down to like 10. There's nothing you can do about it. Eat shit.
Yeah, so
Here comes
why
Ella with her broken gun.
Why is her gun counted as her special ability?
Because that's how
It's-
Ubisoft describes it. That's her unique thing, the Scorpion.
It's like, I saw it described as it's part of what makes her unique.
Then that could be said about the slug shotgun some of the characters have now.
Only
But
two
at least
characters
that
have
one takes skill.
And it could, because
Yeah.
the slug
And
shot
you only
is
get 2
actually
shots,
unique.
and isn't there a delay between the first and second shot?
No, but there's
What?
enough recoil that they're not going to go in the same hole. If you
Yep.
just click it twice.
Alright. But still,
The reload is slow.
if we're going to go with guns being unique, why not just make that particular shotgun a unique, or fuck one of the
When they
marksman
say
rifles
unique,
for-
they don't mean in terms of like rarity. They mean in terms of stand out.
I know.
You just speak that
You know,
otherwise,
you're
I'm just
saying this,
clarifying
Sparta,
that.
but keep in mind, every marksman rifle in the game is unique.
Yep.
Like
Every gun in
none
that
of them
game
are
is unique.
similar. Yeah.
Okay, well, the assault rifle that technically counts as an SMG that Jaeger has. And
No,
other-
it's a carbine. It's not an SMG. It's explicitly called carbine. Jaeger's notable
Yeah,
because he's the
tell
only
you it's a
defender.
carbine.
He's the only
Was.
defender, bar Vigil, who showed up about a month or two ago, who has a fucking assault rifle.
Problem there being he's used to spawn camp.
As his virtual.
Ella has... Jaeger, Vigil, and Ella are all arguably unique because they're free speeds and have fairly interesting passive abilities. I'm gonna call the Thunder Mines passive because they're remote, like, throw it, it's done. You don't need to be there for it to go off. It just does its thing. Vigil, you hit a button, and it's arguably one of the more difficult effects in the game. And Jaeger has his anti-fuse buttons. But Ella stands out among all of these in regards to being buffed and nerfed is because she's never had anything meaningful taken away from her. Like, no meaningful difference has been made to her weapons or her gadget because of the nerfs.
Well,
unlike Jaeger,
looks like I'm killing
where,
these guys.
Yep.
Unlike Jaeger, where they've removed ACOG, and it makes a
Well, you see,
noticeable
keep
difference.
in mind, the P90 didn't originally come with a long barrel either.
Right, that was actually
I don't mean the
added
long
in.
barrel, I mean the ACOG itself. Extended barrels were added into the game in Skull Raids. They weren't originally in the game. Claymores weren't
Yeah.
either. Which proves that they can make a difference to their own game in really good ways.
But sometimes they just do shit like what they did to Twitch.
R.I.P. Twitch.
And then
I
you
mean, at
get
this
Ella,
point,
who
if they
is-
just handed Twitch a Year 3 Thorn, she'd be everything I hate all wrapped into one.
Then you have Ella, who is Siege's Galahorn.
Except they didn't decide to fucking weaken it that much. They're gonna weaken it some, but it's not gonna get that rest period.
Well, nothing has even been taken away. I've seen gifs of people just spraying the Scorpion to get kills. And then there's just like a red bar put over their ammo count, like an adjustment to accommodate the 40 rounds. Surprise, they're not out of ammo. They can still do it just fine. Goodness, this has turned into a bit more of a game balance conversation. Have you got anything?
That's pretty much what
that?
nerfing and buffing is about, though.
Yeah.
They don't do it for shits and giggles.
Have you got any nerfs or buffs to throw in yourself, Sparta? That you know of?
I threw my hat into the ring bringing up Siege.
True.
And the reason we go to Siege and Destiny so much on this is because those games are defined by their rebalances.
Yeah.
Right.
I would say more so
Particularly
Destiny than anything. Yeah.
Well, that's because the entire meta of Destiny, because PvP and E are balanced the same, is entirely based on what people bitched about on the forums. So, like, there are times in Destiny's history where everyone's like, you know what, auto rifles need to stop being a thing. So it's like, well, now I have to use pulse rifles everywhere I go, because they're what get kills these days.
Yeah, but
Actually,
I
just
at the least part, we don't have to
remembered
worry about that
something
anymore, considering they're more focused on Destiny 2 and trying to get as much money out of that dumpster fire.
I just
that
remembered
really
something
better?
else in regard to buffs.
No,
and
it's not
nerfs.
better, but at the least part, we don't have to worry about the shitty buffs and nerfs that they did.
In game
You
balance
say
in
that, but
general.
I don't like the current game balance in Destiny.
I know, but
Few people do.
not like they can fuck anything
But
else up.
yeah. I just remembered something else, and it's
Oh,
to
they
do with
can.
Dark Souls. I've had this disputed to me often, but Dark Souls 2, when it released, its PvP was a fucking mess.
Dark Souls 2, when it released, was a fucking mess.
Oh yeah, I have many problems with it, but the PvP in Dark Souls 2 was bring a magic build with magic infused weapon, and magic buff it.
Well, I mean, we're talking about buffs and nerfs. What about Dark Souls 3 and what were they? The twin great swords.
The Ring Knight Greatswords.
Yes, the Ring Knight.
See,
Great
here's the thing.
Swords.
The Ring Knight Greatswords are difficult because they're a bitch, but then you use the stomp attack on an Ultra Greatsword and you just poise through it. They eat shit. But then you've got Dark Souls 2 early on where you magic or you go home. Everything's physical damage resistance at like PvP level was so high that you just don't bother. If you bothered, you either hated yourself, were handicapping yourself, or did not know what the fuck you were doing.
All of this is Dark Souls in general to me. You hate yourself, you're handicapping yourself.
No, like
Well,
more so
you
here, like
say
All
this,
while you're
unnecessarily
doing that, the
handicapping
devs
yourself.
are drinking your tears.
Dark Souls 2
You-
is the game that has the Covenant just to make the game harder.
Mm-hmm.
And,
But you
like,
say all this, Castile, but in 3, magic was not like almost useless.
probably because of 2. Like, I played early 2 for quite a bit. It put me off the game because eventually I just ended up going, oh, time to get my magic katana, buff my magic katana with more magic, because it's the only way I can fucking kill people. Because otherwise I do like 100 damage to people with 1500 health, and take triple that probably. Physical builds did not exist in, at the very least, the first year of that.
You know, that may be my biggest issue with 2, though, because I ran a physical build in 1.
And I ended up using magic into just you just everything.
Well, like, I
dies.
made a magic build in the first game, and I had fun with it. But, like, I had so many issues with 2.
In the first game, you could have fun with magic. In 2, it's just this is a blatantly
Mandatory.
easier option. Yeah, pretty much mandatory.
Like, I still think out of the 3 games, the first one had the balance right.
Thank fuck they're remastering it.
I'm not even sure it needs remastering. Like, I'll still play the first
It's
one.
getting dedicated servers. Nothing is wrong with that.
Ooh.
Yeah.
The first
No,
did
you
not
can
have
still
dedicated
find-
servers?
No,
Apparently
which is why lag stabs existed. It's why I think it's why dead angling existed. A lot of shit was wrong. But yeah. Dark Souls 2 was a fucking mess.
Yeah.
Oh. I want to mention something in regards to game balance, but I know it will annoy Clutch. So I kind of don't want
go
to.
for it.
Just say
It's that old demon of ours, Earthlock. How not to do an RPG.
Why do you hate yourself?
You know it's me. The game where blind just lowers damage. Your accuracy is shit.
How
You
is
have no
that the
meaningful
one
way
part of that
buffing it.
game that you keep coming back to as the problem?
I keep
It's
fixing
all-
that
that
would annoy
part
the piss
because
out of me too.
it's so utterly contradictory, and it just fully gives away how fucking bad that game was. It's like Lords of the Fallen is. And even Dark Souls 2, there's that one thing you can mention that just symbolises how shit it ultimately was.
What is it for
Okay,
Lords of the
you say
Fallen?
this. Yeah, because I actually
Lords of
want
the
to
Fallen is Dark Souls, but you are worse. Enemies have nigh infinite stamina. Bosses are a pain in the dick to kill, and the enemies do not functionally run out of stamina. I've seen it. They don't.
Yeah, they do. Otherwise, you
Not for
wouldn't
me,
be able
they
to shield
shouldn't.
break them.
You can shield break them, but they don't really need to stop swinging.
Well, like, if you shield break them, they won't be able to pull off any moves for a moment until they regain stamina.
yeah,
They do have a
but-
stupidly high recovery rate, though. That is
Yeah,
something I
but
will say. But
that's more what I mean. It's like it's just that redundant shit like in Dark Souls 2. This enemy's immune to backstabs. It still has perfect tracking. This boss will still try to hit you mid-swing if you roll. Or even if you just walk. Like you can just walk sideways. You will see the swing. Like, it's not even the swing. Just the whole body turns in just this blatant attempt to just try
Oh.
and fuck you over.
okay, you want to talk about that kind of game balancing?
You've got
Shall
enemies
we
with
throw
giant
XCOM
maces
in the
who...
ring?
Oh my god.
You've had
You mean
enemies with giant
90%
maces in that game.
chance to hit
Never
and
ran
just
out of
lose?
stamina.
97% chance and miss 3 turns in a row.
Yep.
How
And
do
then
you-
your unit's permadead. Because the statistics they feed you are full of lies.
It's the
It's
XCOM
lies,
rule.
leavened with rumor
If
and
the chance
conjecture.
is not 99%, assume it will never hit. If the chance is
You
99%,
can't get it to 99% though.
You can
That
with a
point-
sniper.
Okay, snipers can get to a... Yeah, snipers can.
But they're the
But
only
still,
things.
I can be,
snipers are
like-
the only thing in that game worth a damn.
I could literally be right beside somebody with a shotgun and a 97% chance and miss.
because XCOM,
Consistently.
That makes no sense at all. How do
it doesn't.
they fuck
That's
up-
why I
Because
hate
XCOM
Firaxis as already.
Because when you start the animation, your character looks at the enemy, then turns 90 degrees, then shoots, and then says, shit, adjusting sights.
Yeah. They need to
I
adjust
think we
that.
need to
I
adjust
mean,
the user.
Adjusting sight should be.
I adjust my user all the time. I slap them in a tank and say, "You come out a major, you don't come out at all."
Adjusting sights should be like, hey, go get your eyes replaced. They're clearly
Wait,
fucked.
back up. Can we talk about the fact magic misses in that game?
What, in
Right?
XCOM?
Yes, if you get like psionic abilities.
Psionics.
Yeah,
Like,
because
the way that game
Soren-
works, magic should be a guaranteed hit. Sure is for your enemies.
Wait, the
Like,
game
aren't
has...
about lube in that game.
Yes, you
psionics
can
are
learn
basically
alien
magic.
mentalism magic.
In other words, space magic.
It's
Yes.
telekinetic,
Actually,
yes.
evolutionary magic, because yeah, like the aliens lead to breakthroughs in psionics, but it's still the human mind and evolutionary, so not really space magic.
You're more learning how they learned how to do it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was about to
Yeah.
say, so another game with space magic, great. Another thing I have to fucking deny the hell out of.
No, you don't deny it. You put a skull on your head, like a real mage.
I don't want a fucking
you wear a
decayed
skull
part
into
of a
battle and
body
you suck
on my
souls.
head.
Sparta, you can choose. Do you want a ram skull?
No.
We have deer skulls.
No.
Ankara.
No.
And you're not a
don't-
You
warlock.
don't want to wear a dragon skull?
Of course
sorry,
I'm not
I
a
can't
warlock, I'm a
have you
fucking
be my
hunter.
friend
Give me my
anymore.
fucking golden gun. Or my fucking bow.
A
I'd
golden
rather
gun
choose
is
that.
pathetic after the nerf.
You
We're not talking
don't
about
want to
fucking
wear a
nerfs.
dragon
Remember
skull.
fucking year one? Golden gun, anyone?
Remember year
It's done.
one when hunters could get shit done in PvE?
I don't care.
Because
Give me
they
my
can't
fucking
now.
golden gun and bow and...
Oh, you want
leave
to talk
the
about stupid
electric
game
blades.
balance? In Destiny 2, the Void Bow does not work on the raid boss.
That's like the one enemy that you would expect it to be guaranteed to be used on.
Yeah.
But it doesn't work because they want to force
You
you to
say
deer.
this. You say this, but I remember when Oryx came out and somebody soloed Oryx because they glitched the bow. And then they disabled the bow for like a month because they...
Oryx has been soloed without that. I've seen it. Oryx is fucked functionally. But Kalos is just... I've seen Kalos killed in 10 seconds. Just give you an example of how easy it actually is. But the bow doesn't work on him because they want to force you to go through the mechanics, but you can just utterly
But I
bust him.
warlocked him too, so...
I mean, Warlock is the master race, in all honesty. It's so much better.
Unless you're a Bungie employee and then it's Titan.
That's because Titans keep getting buffed, though.
Yeah, they seem to have a hard-on for Titans for some reason. Other than they use the hell out of them.
Well, it's like Striker, too, which is useless outside of PvP, yet the PvP abilities keep getting buffs.
And the one
Or
nerf
the
they
Hunter
did
melee.
functionally didn't do anything.
What, Juggernaut nerf? Juggernaut nerf absolutely
No, I
did
wasn't even
something.
talking about that. I was talking about the shoulder charge nerf. Actually, I forgot about the
Juggernaut.
Juggernaut nerf.
Juggernaut nerf got nerfed. That did something.
This still takes way too much damage, though.
Yeah, it does, but people stopped using it because you couldn't just be an just a meteor crashing down on people with your shield of air invincibility.
Or how about the fact using Fist of Havoc, you are effectively tankier than anything else in the game, as PvP wise.
Yeah,
Like,
that's kind of
you can
bullshit.
headshot anybody else out of their supers. You can't someone doing Fist of Havoc.
Fucking Striker Titan.
Right?
Wow, I found the plane of all the food. I think the deer
Hey,
own this
could
one.
be worse. I remember the teleporting Palpatines.
Teleporting
God.
Palpatines.
Yeah, Stormcaller was OP as fuck when it came out too.
Ooh.
Are we talking about the blink while you're in the Stormcaller stance? Because that was not that problematic, I thought.
Stormcaller in general was problematic. It's like, oh, you died? Or, oh, I've got my super. I'm going to wipe your team and then come to your spawn and wipe your team again.
Oh, so it was used for that purpose.
Oh, what? Stormcaller?
Uh,
Like, honestly, Stormcaller was worse than Hammers in PvP.
And Hammers was pretty broken in its own, too.
Oh my god, the tracking. Oh my god, the tracking.
It
Do you
tracked
know
so
the
hard.
Warlock had their Sunsinger replaced with a shittier version of Hammers in 2? It's just
Yes, I played too, remember?
because they wanted to. They didn't like the fact that Selfras made shit broken. Like, oh, you can solo raids with Selfras. It's like, hey, look, I solo Oryx as a fucking Titan.
Pretty much. It's
To be fair, Oryx was mainly mechanics. Like, I said, I
They
want to know
skipped
how
the
the fuck they...
mechanics.
I want to
Just
know how
didn't
they
do them.
soloed it with, like, the ogres and shit, or the sisters, the Death Singer
Just-
sisters.
I don't know if they soloed the sisters, but they soloed Oryx. Just like, just didn't do the mechanics. Didn't need to.
How long did that take?
Not that long, I think. About 20 minutes, maybe.
Jesus Christ, I can't imagine doing that much damage in 20 minutes. Holy fuck.
It may have been longer, I don't know. Well, you don't damage
I mean-
Oryx yourself, because, like you said, it's all mechanics. You just gather the fucking orbs. Which is why I hate Oryx, and I hate fucking Callus, because... Oh, look, it's a wall. Climb over the wall. You're good now. As long as you stick with that team, you'll never have trouble on the raid again. Fucking stupid.
I mean, even Crota was mechanics, though.
Yeah, but you damaged Crota with the sword. It isn't Oryx, where it's purely like your involvement in that fight is ultimately impersonal.
Besides,
You don't
Crota
fight
was
the
still a
boss.
difficult strike.
Don't get me. Crota was just a wheel of fucking finest cheese, and you just cut into him. Like,
Hey, let's
hey,
keep in mind, they had to make Crota harder when they re-released that.
Yeah.
it's like,
Just the fact that the
see,
ogre
you
sword
guys
was
go
off
on about that,
between-
but what really makes it the wheel of cheese is just like, I can sum it up in just one word. Hey, who's host? I'll turn off your Xbox, like, close the game. Just close the game from dashboard.
okay, what would that do?
Throws Crota in place permanently kneeling.
That is some
No barrier,
fucking
no nothing, just kneeling.
bullshit.
You just sworded him to
Creative use
death.
of game mechanics. What the fuck?
That is
I
in-game
love it.
mechanics.
To be
And
fair,
it took
people
them
used
months
to
to
use
patch
the,
that.
well, originally when the at the bridge checkpoint, people would just grab the sword from the sword bearer and jump across.
Yep.
Because the sword lunge gave you enough distance, you
I
could
saw
feasibly jump
people-
across the chasm.
Get across the entire shit jumping segment in Oryx. Just with a sword and a Titan boost.
Okay, like
shoulder
that.
charge, sword, jump, shoulder charge, sword, jump, shoulder charge, sword, jump. Done. Repeat ad infinitum.
Alright, well, anyone else got...
People...
Uh,
I've not myself.
Yeah.
alright.
I'm kind of out.
Yeah, I was gonna say, has anyone else got anything else they want to bring up? Because it's been about an hour, and I kind of want to try and make these around an hour-ish.
About done.
Alright. Well, here's what the next Nerd Talk's gonna be for next time. Anime. So, Shadow, you're probably gonna sit out on this one.
Yep.
I can see Shadow's face right now. Like, why?
Well, it's Nerd Talk, and I
Time
figured
for me to
Sarah,
not be
you,
part of this
Foil-
discussion.
Wait, you don't want to be in this discussion, Castile?
No, I mean Clutch,
Oh.
not me.
Well, yeah, next Nerd Talk is going to be anime. I'll try
Guessing so, you brought this prompt?
No, actually, I just felt like, it's called Nerd Talk. Let's bring some other stuff other than games.
I mean, Foil and I bring politics.
Yeah, but at that
Right?
point, I should just make a little side segment for you and Foil alone called Politics Talk.
Nerds can know politics. Right?
Yeah,
Everyone
but some
should
of the
know
fans
politics.
some of the fans have actually been getting annoyed by it. Anyway, well, thanks for watching, everyone. This has been Likos, Castil, Shadow, and Foil, and we will see you next time. Probably not Shadow. And have a good night. Adios.
Come here, Castil.
Yeah. Just step into
We're
these
all over
bushes where I
here.
can
You're
do
the one
horrible,
that's the
messy
outsider.
things to you.
Yeah.
Hey,
All my disposable hellhounds died again.
horrible things are about to happen.
Alright.
Get in this bush.
I
bitch.
know, I'm loading up modded Skyrim.
Audio is already recording, so...
Not what I was referring to, but that works. One shot, headshot, yes please.
So, what exactly makes your hellhounds disposable?
Because
I
you
can
can
summon as
summonable.
many of them as I damn well please.
Okay, I'll have to make sure
that does
Joe
innately
not,
make something disposable.
spawn whenever you summon one.
No, Sparta, he must know he was created, not born.
There we
Oh,
go.
it's gonna take me to summon that champion 14 turns.
Captain's dead, and... Fuck's sake, Bike. You can't move while you aim bow. One shot, headshot.
Alright, so you guys ready?
There is no ready.
There is no ready for the subject of buffs and nerfs, though you may want to wait until after that thing is done. It's 62%, fuck's sake. The clip that's taking too damn long to finish uploading.
So you want
I'm
to
really
start
not
after
that
that
attached
or...
to whether or not I see this clip.
Fair
Right?
play.